Rezvani has released the official details about their brand new 935 inspired RR1, which is based on the Porsche 992 Series 911, and there are a lot of very exciting details to unpack for this car. So let's start with the bespoke carbon fiber body. At first glance, the RR1 is very reminiscent of the Porsche 935-19 with its white martini livery, black front and rear canards, and red wheels. The most prominent features on the car are the widened front and rear fenders, the intakes in the front fascia, which look a bit like the intakes found on the Singer DLS Turbo, the headlights, which look like they were taken from the Porsche Taycan, and the very prominent tubular front intakes. Other unique features include the blended rear wing and C-pillar intakes, which were inspired by the 935-77 works, air pressure extractor vents above the front wheels, and the turbofan wheel discs. From the front, the car looks outstanding, maybe a bit too much like the 935-19, but the shapes and proportions are a great balance between aggressive and gorgeous. Oh, and real quick, if you're enjoying this video, or you just like learning about Porsches, click here to subscribe. From the profile view, the first things that catch our eye are those enormous red wheels, which is a bit of a shame because they detract too much from some of the other great design details in the carbon fiber body. So to make this easier for everyone, I replaced them with a set of actual 935 wheels, and I think we can all agree that looks a little better. With those bright red wheels gone, we can now see the nicely integrated vents at the back of the front fenders and the huge intakes in the rear fenders. The three shark gill vent slats probably don't serve much of a purpose, but they do look cool and add visual balance with the similar slats located above the front wheels. Rizvani seems to have made the most significant modifications at the rear of the car. The widened bodywork features two huge heat vents located outboard of the rear fascia, three small central heat vents, and a huge rear diffuser that wraps around the bottom of the car to form the rear canards. Today's video about the Rizvani RR1 is sponsored by Art Prints by Arc Driver Automotive Photography. These unique Porsche art prints are a great way to improve the aesthetics in any room in your house, and a great way to help support this channel. They feature museum quality printing on heavy duty paper that has a partly glossy and partly matte finish. You can check out the entire collection by clicking on the link in the description below. Rezvani has shared some very surprising details about the RR1, and the two that I think are the most exciting are that you can get it with a manual transmission and you can get it naturally aspirated. Three power trims are available, and two of them feature a street version and a track version. The first trim is what Rezvani is calling the 550 horsepower turbo, which features a 3-liter flat-six turbo engine and the option of a 7-speed manual or PDK transmission. Rezvani claims this engine setup can produce 550 horsepower for track use and 520 horsepower for street use. The second trim is the 565 horsepower naturally aspirated package, which features a 4-liter flat-six naturally aspirated engine with a 9,200 RPM redline and a 6-speed manual or PDK transmission. Rezvani claims this engine setup can produce 535 horsepower for track use and 565 horsepower for street use. I have to say that a modern-day 935-ish car with a manual transmission and a naturally aspirated engine sounds like a dream car amongst dream cars. The two track versions both have 30 horsepower more than the street versions. This is most likely because Rezvani is using a specialized exhaust setup that increases power but is not street legal due to noise and/or emissions output. The final option is the 750 horsepower turbo package, which includes a 3.8-liter flat-six turbo and a PDK transmission, and Rezvani claims this car can do 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. Other options include Öhlins Motorsport TTX Pro coilovers for $6,500, a steel roll cage for $5,500, a racing harness for $750, upgraded Brembo brakes for $7,500, lightweight polycarbonate windows for $2,700, and custom livery graphics for $2,500. Rizvani initially told me they would be producing 20 cars, but their updated website says they're going to be making 50. As far as the interior goes, we can't see many details in the renderings, other than the two-stage roll cage and unique bucket seats found on the track car. Rezvani is offering an introductory price of $150,000 for the first 5 cars, and after that the price will be increased to an unspecified number. This price is in addition to the cost of the donor car, which for the 550 horsepower turbo package is a 992 Carrera S, for the 565 horsepower package is a 992 GT3, and for the 750 horsepower package is a 992 Turbo S. And after that, the price will be increased to an unspecified number. That naturally aspirated option will no doubt be tempting to a lot of Porsche fans, but most owners of the 992 GT3 are too afraid to drive their car on the track, let alone have the entire car rebuilt as a completely different, non-Porsche vehicle. So I'm not sure how many takers there will be for this option. And I have to say, if I did have a 992 Carrera S, I would definitely get this conversion done. But if I had a 992 GT3, I don't think I would have the heart to be able to do it. Lately, there has been a lot of talk about the lawsuit between Porsche and Singer, but the RR1 is probably safe since the word Porsche and the Porsche crest do not appear anywhere on this car, and although it's clearly meant to look like the 935, I can't see Porsche taking legal action over it. So far, Rezvani has only given us computer-generated images, and I'm really looking forward to see some actual video footage and some audio of the RR1 being driven in anger. Overall, I'd say this is a great modern-day interpretation of a Porsche 935. The design is clean and visually appealing, and I'm sure it's going to look incredible in real life. The only two things that are a little rough in my opinion are the aforementioned enormous-looking wheels and those tubular intakes in the front, which I think are supposed to be a visual cue to the fascia-mounted headlamps in the original 935, but honestly, the car would look a lot better without them. Thanks for checking out this video, and don't forget to check out my Porsche art prints, which are linked in the description below. And for more Porsche content that you cannot find anywhere else, click here to subscribe.